Hi, welcome to Optimist Island. I'm Neil Wood, and today's show is an interview with Richard Bonanno here on the South Shore. Richard has been repairing bicycles and shipping them throughout the United States to families and children in need. At this point, after 5 years, he has shipped more than 5,000 bicycles. And you'll hear more about where he has shipped them and what the reaction has been in just a few minutes. But this is amazing. As you know from watching the show previously, we like to focus on people who are making a difference in the community. And in this case, Richard Bonanno is impacting the nation, from the West Coast to the South to the North, as well as right here on the South Shore. Amazing contributions, and I think you'll really enjoy this show. Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dan.
Today's guest is Richard Bonanno, and the more I read about what he's accomplishing and doing for the world, the more I am blown away. So instead of me talking about it, tell me how many bikes you have repaired and shipped, and where you've shipped them.
In the past 5 years, probably just probably nudging over 4,000, and we started shipping them. Actually, not shipping. The first ones went to a couple kids in Hull. I found a bike out in the west end of Scituate at the end of a driveway, and it was thrown out with the rubbish. And I noticed that it was a very expensive mountain bike. So I picked it up and I took it home and I gave it to my neighbor across the street. He didn't have a bike. So he's got the number one.
Wow.
And then the next day there were 3 more. And I stopped and I picked them up and I repaired them and I brought them to a buddy of mine that I grew up with in Hull. And I said, put these in front of your house and put a free sign on them. He did. They were gone in like an hour. But the only problem was 4 kids stopped by.
Oh, boy.
So the 4th kid went up to the door and knocked on the door and said, do you have any more bikes?
Yeah.
And my buddy called me up and says, hey, you got any more bikes? I said, well, let me see what I can do. And that kind of started it. Mm-hmm. And then I just kept finding the bikes. And I said, well, there's a need for kids to have bikes. I didn't realize that. But there's some kids that the families just can't afford them. So
right.
I started picking them up. I started buying them at yard sales. And that got it going. And then once people started hearing about it, then they started dropping them off. Mm-hmm. And then the guys at the Scituate landfill would save good bikes for me that were being thrown away. And it just snowballed.
Wow.
It just snowballed.
Up to 4,000.
Over the past 5 years.
I read an article about you in one of the local newspapers, and not only do you help people locally, but you've shipped them to Indian reservations in South Dakota, in California and Georgia.
Yeah, it started with Brian McGagan of Mohawk Rubber Sales. He has his own charity.
Right here in
his
Hingham?
own foundation, right? Yeah, right in Hingham. Mohawk Rubber Sales, and he had a pet project with the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. They were sending out needy items, not bikes. Mm-hmm. And he asked me if I could send some bikes to them. I said, sure. You ship them, I'll get them. So as I got the bikes, Brian would ship them. And then one day he asked me if I could get some more bikes, and we'll ship them to a buddy of his who owns who works at a Boys and Girls Club down in Florida. So we shipped a bunch to them. It was only like 30 bikes. And I knew somebody in Henderson, Tennessee. Actually, my son-in-law is from there. And he said, boy, kids in Henderson, Tennessee love some bikes. So I approached Brian. I said, well, Brian, if you're shipping them to Florida, I said, how about halfway to Henderson, Tennessee? He said, absolutely. The word no doesn't come out of Brian's mouth. I can't even begin to tell you how generous a man he is. And the Worthwhile Life Foundation. It's beyond words. Yeah. So we shipped a bunch down to Henderson. They probably have gotten, over the years, over 1,000 bikes. I would say the Indian Reservation, Pine Ridge, over 1,000 bikes.
Wow.
So we've given these places bikes where they've never had them before.
Yes.
At the reservation, they have a very large obesity problem with the kids. A lot of diabetes because of a very poor diet. Mm-hmm. And now the kids are on their bikes and they're getting exercise.
Right.
They use it to escape sometimes a bad family life, as I've been told. Mm-hmm. And so as I've been told by the people who ship the bike, who deliver the bikes there, they said that we've changed the landscape of the reservation.
My gosh.
Yeah, that's how many bikes that they've gotten. The kids are always on their bikes. Always.
That's amazing. Kind of like I was when we grew up,
Oh.
right? Constantly on the bicycles.
Your parents, like I was telling you earlier, that we grew up in a different generation where 7 a.m. both parents went to work.
Right.
You were on your bike looking for trouble.
Yeah.
But you got there by bike.
That's right.
All right, you got
and
there
it could
by
be
bike.
miles and miles.
Oh,
yeah.
And the bike was usually something that you scrapped together
Yes.
at the dump by picking up 3 bikes.
Yes.
And piecing them together.
Yeah.
And some had brakes, some didn't have brakes. You found a way of stopping. You just dealt with it.
That's right.
Right. No helmets.
No.
No. You fell. You got cut.
That's right.
It just happened.
Eventually you got home.
Right.
Yeah.
But growing up in Hull, we were very safe on the bikes because there's really no place to go. It's a peninsula.
Yes.
So we just found all places. I mean, you just rode from one end of the town to the other.
Yep.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I was thinking about that when I went back to North Smithfield, Rhode Island, where I grew up. I traveled the old towns where I lived in, the old neighborhoods, and I thought, wow, I used to ride from my home to the baseball field, which was 6 miles away. You didn't think about it. You just jumped on your bike, threw the glove over the handlebar, and you took off.
And if your buddy didn't have a bike, he was on the handlebars.
Exactly right. Yeah.
What
Or
we
riding
did.
on the back of the seat
That's
or whatever.
what we did. That's what we did. And the kids today, I don't think they have as much adventure as we had. They're kind of too busy with other things.
Yes.
So we brought this back a little bit by giving these kids some bikes. And some of these places, like right now, I'm delivering bikes to Appalachia, to Kermit, West Virginia, and they don't have any bikes. So we're going up a whole generation, 2 generations, 3 generations of families that never had bikes, and now they're getting bikes. They don't even know how to ride them.
Wow, that's
I'm giving
amazing.
adult bikes. I'm giving teenagers bikes. I'm giving kids bikes.
Yeah.
They don't know how to ride them because they've never had them.
My gosh.
They spend their money on food,
Yeah.
on survival.
Yes.
Not necessity, not these things that kids should have.
Right.
Every kid should have a bike.
Yeah. That would seem like an extravagant gift, considering
my
the
gosh,
cost
yeah.
of a bicycle.
Yeah. So my goal there, and it's kind of funny, this one person I am sending bikes, I do have different people in that same location I'm sending bikes to because it kind of spread out. And he said, I asked him how many kids there were in like his church or whatever things he runs there. And he said, about 135. I said, that's a piece of cake. And he said, what do you mean? I said, $135? 135 bikes? Nothing to it. And he goes, you're going to send me 135 bikes? I said, in a blink of an eyelash.
Wow.
I said, that's nothing. I said, I ship 20, 30 at a time.
That's
And
amazing.
he's already started getting them, yeah.
Amazing. I noticed last week on social media, you mentioned that you gave one to a homeless man, former veteran, or veteran anyway.
Yes.
How old was he?
In Macon, Georgia, I actually have 4 locations in Macon, Georgia.
Yeah.
And one of them is a homeless veterans home, where it's all homeless veterans. And they take care of them.
Yes.
They get them jobs. And when they get their jobs, that is their transportation to the job.
Wow.
They don't have vehicles. They're homeless.
Yes.
So this isn't just something to go out and enjoy. Now it is part of their life to get to work and make a living. So they're using these bikes to get to work.
Yeah.
So it's kind of life-changing for them.
Absolutely.
But that's when they get the bike. They get the bike when they get a job.
That's the term I thought of when you were telling me these stories. It is absolutely life-changing for the children on the reservation or in Appalachia or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In Henderson, Tennessee, there is the person that distributes them. I set him up with a bike shop. I said, how about I send you broken bikes, so you can dismantle them for parts.
Yeah.
I will send you compressors, bike tools, a bike stand. I sent them everything that they needed to set up a bike shop. And just by coincidence, Vietnam veterans built the bike shop. I guess they had a lot of space in this church, and they built the bike shop. Well, now the kids are taking in the bikes, repairing them, and returning them to their own neighborhoods.
Wow.
And now I'm totally out of the picture. It became self-sufficient.
Yes.
But now it's actually part of the court system in that area. That when a young kid gets in trouble, instead of, I guess it would be juvenile hall.
Right.
That he either goes and fixes bikes or he goes and spends time in juvenile hall.
That's wonderful.
So they all go and fix the bikes, of course. Why
Sure.
fix bikes when you have that choice? And it was coincidence that the very first person who went into this program was in juvie hall for stealing bikes. So he actually fixed his own. The first bike that they fixed, they don't know it, but it's their own.
Wow.
So I have sent them parts, and now the program has become so big that even local other towns and communities are giving them donations, bikes, parts, and I am totally out of the picture. So I don't even have to send them bikes any longer.
It makes me think of the quote, teach a man to fish.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And he'll eat for a
Absolutely.
lifetime.
Yep.
Instead of just giving them.
I'm trying to set that up in different places now, but it's getting resistance. But down there wasn't a problem. They just jumped all over it.
That's
They
fascinating
jumped all
to me.
over it. Yeah.
You know, a lot of the people we interview on the show are people following their passion and doing something that makes a difference in the community. Maybe in their life, but generally it affects and impacts the community and maybe even larger than that. You're touching all of America.
Yeah, but you keep saying me. It's not just me.
Yeah, good point.
It's not just me. The community of Scituate and some of the surrounding towns, they support me beyond words.
Yeah.
Whatever I ask for on Facebook, on social media, I have to be very careful because I'm at the point now where I ask for one thing,
Yes.
I might get 10.
Okay.
So that's what kind of response I get.
Okay.
It's beyond words. 4,000 bikes from one community
Yeah.
in 5 years.
That's amazing. And thanks to Mohawk Rubber, right
I
here in this
couldn't
industrial
ship
park.
these to Cohasset, never mind
Right.
across the country.
Yeah.
The furthest distance that we've sent them was McFarland, California. And if you know anything about McFarland, California, it's in the San Joaquin Valley. That's where all our 80% of this country's fruit and vegetables are harvested.
Okay.
And the Mexicans are the ones that pick all the fruit and vegetables. And they're not wealthy. And I sent them over 1,000 bikes, but I sent them to the McFarland Police Department. And they distribute them, and kind of a celebration type thing. They on a weekend, they're at a schoolyard.
Yes.
And they set up tents, they have music, they have a grill, they have food for them, they have drink. They set up a little course for the kids to ride the bikes, and then at the end of it they have a raffle. And they raffle off the bikes, one bike at a time.
Oh, boy.
So they wait till they get about 100 bikes before
Yes.
they do it. And I just happened to be out in California, and I snuck out there. I drove out there 2.5 hours from where I was in Santa Monica, and I sat in the corner of the playground, and I watched them give away the bikes. They had no idea who I was, and it was awesome to see all those bikes that were being given away, and they were just in my garage.
Wow.
Over 3,000 miles away.
It has got to be very emotional for a lot of these people.
That was awesome. That was fun seeing because I'm a true believer in best deeds are done when no one's looking.
Yes.
So I just kept quiet. And
Yes.
nobody knew. Even the
Sure.
McFarland police didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
Until finally one of them asked me what I was doing hanging around at the playground.
Right.
And then once I told them who I was, I became the mayor of the day for McFarland. It was kind of cool.
Boy.
And if you've seen the movie McFarland USA with Kevin Costner, I watched the movie and that's what gave me the idea to send to McFarland.
Wow.
Because there's one line in that movie where a teacher says, "These are some of the poorest kids in the nation." And that got to me.
That is wonderful.
That got to me.
It has got to be challenging to repair all these bicycles. Do you have mechanics working with you?
None. After 5 years, I finally broke my silence with the media. Everybody, they heard about what I was doing. They asked me if I would, if they would do a news story about it, or if they could do a newspaper story about it. And I said, it's not what I'm doing it. And finally, I had to break my silence because I got so inundated with so many bikes. I broke my silence hoping to get a mechanic that would help me
Yes.
repair some of these bikes. They were I probably had 100 in storage waiting to be fixed. And the problem was that I didn't get one after a news story from the Ledger, and then Channel 4 did a really nice piece on it. And I didn't get a mechanic but I got 100 bikes in 2 more days.
Great. Now you're a mechanic even more.
Yeah, I spent the next 3 days and never left my garage because
Oh my
I
gosh.
had to fix them and get them out because my yard looked like a bike shop.
Okay.
So they were gone in 3 days.
So you need a
100
few.
bikes.
You need a few mechanics to help
I
out.
would love any mechanic, not a
Yes.
few. I'd like one would be a thrill.
To actually show up and help.
To show up and help.
Yeah.
I've had lots of offers, but nobody's actually shown up. It's not easy. I have a full-time job, I'm self-employed, which allows me to do this.
Yes.
Because I can pick and choose when I want to repair or when I want to do these things, and I'm able to do it because of my job.
Yes.
But I'm still averaging between 30 and 35 hours a week.
Volunteer.
Just myself, yeah.
Yes.
And then I go to work. But sometimes when I know I have a busy day, I'll be out in my garage at 4 a.m.
Wow.
And I've adapted myself to getting 4 hours sleep a night. I don't need 8 hours. So
Okay.
if I get 4 hours sleep a night, I'm good. So sometimes I'll be out there till 1 a.m. and get up at 5
Yeah.
and go out and work before work.
Well, you're doing something you enjoy.
It's awesome.
You know you're making a difference when you see the
We.
reaction.
We.
Yes. Yes. It
we.
takes a group of volunteers.
Yeah, you've done.
You have a way of exciting people to want to get involved,
You know,
don't you?
you need to light a fire under
Yes.
someone's butt to get them going. But I think I've done that with Situate because no matter what I ask for, it's just crazy how what I get back from them.
Yes.
This past Christmas, I had a couple organizations that I've given Christmas gifts to, and I asked Situate, I said, "Geez, can we get some Christmas gifts for some of these organizations I'm giving to?" And they gave me enough gifts for over 500 kids.
My gosh.
500 kids we gave gifts to that would not have had Christmas,
Wow.
and locally.
Yeah.
We gave a lot down to Macon, Georgia. We gave a lot to some other communities out of Massachusetts, but now we're starting to see local. I'm starting to give a lot to Brockton.
Okay.
I know 17 miles west of Situate
Right.
is another world.
It sure is,
It's
isn't it?
another world.
Yeah.
So now I'm reaching out to them, and they're reaching back to me, and it's awesome because it's down the street.
My gosh.
Yeah.
What's the best way our viewers can help you? I don't think you need more bicycles. No.
Bicycles I have.
Yes.
I did become a non-for-profit. It's called the Rolling Wave Foundation.
Rolling Wave
Yeah,
Foundation.
Rolling Wave Foundation.
Okay.
And through some contributions, I'm able to do so much more. I have used my own money for years, and I didn't want to think about how much I've spent in the past. I
Yes.
never kept tracked.
No.
Never claimed it. It's just something I just did. Just kept putting the credit card out. But now with the foundation, I'm able to use some foundation money to buy supplies, to buy food.
Yes.
I sent over $1,000 worth of food last month down to West Virginia.
So it's not just bicycles.
No, not just bikes, not even close. Not even close. I have sent more pallets of clothing, just everyday necessities to communities all over the United States, including West Virginia, including Macon, including the reservation,
Yes.
McFarland, down in Florida, and now Mississippi.
My goodness.
I'm helping out Mississippi right now that still haven't recovered from Katrina. And
Wow.
Katrina was 14 years ago,
My gosh.
and they haven't recovered. So now they're getting, matter of fact, the bikes I just delivered this morning, 2 pallets of them, not many bikes, like 25, but that's the second 25 they've gotten. So they've gotten 50 bikes this week
Yeah.
to kids who they don't have bikes.
So they're learning how to ride a bike.
Well, they've had them before there.
Okay.
But after Katrina,
Wiped out.
it was in recovery mode. It was,
Yes.
fix your home, take care of neighbors and things like that.
Yes.
The bikes were the last thing on their mind.
Yes.
So now we've shipped them a little bit of everything. I'm shipping them clothing, food, everything. But now with the foundation, I'm able to buy these things. And then I get volunteers that will go shopping for me.
Yes.
Because I probably wouldn't leave the candy aisle. They wouldn't get much nutrition if I did the shopping.
Yeah.
But I've got some professional shoppers that I give them $100, and they come back to my house with $275 worth of food.
Oh boy.
You give them $400, and you get well over $1,000 in food.
They know how to shop.
They know how to shop.
Right. They look for sales. And
Everything, the coupons online, something I have no idea how to do. and not interested in doing because I'm too busy.
Yeah. What's the best way for people to reach you? I mean, you mentioned the Rolling Wave Foundation. How do they find that?
The Rolling Wave Foundation is now, it's working. And people can make donations through Venmo, Rolling Wave, PayPal through Rolling Wave.
Okay.
I've actually had people just leave an envelope in my mailbox with cash in it.
Oh my gosh.
And for years before I had this, I would, if someone donated an adult bike, a nice adult bike, let's say a nice Trek, well, that Trek has value, and if it has value, there's got to be a way of getting more value out of it. So I get permission from the owner to sell the bike, and then take the proceeds.
Sure.
And then I will go to a yard sales, which are coming up now.
Yes.
It's warmer out.
Yes.
And I can turn a $150 bike into 15 bikes.
Wow.
So instead of one person getting one good bike,
yes,
I can get between 15 and 20 bikes that are still great. They're just kids' bikes. They're not one good adult Trek, but I'd rather see 19 kids, 20 kids on a bike than one.
Absolutely.
So that's what I do. I'll take one bike, sell it, take the proceeds, and then go buy other bikes.
Wow.
That's what I did for 5 years. So I wouldn't kind of use my own money, but I still would.
I wonder what your limit will be. I mean, I just see you doing this for years to come.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not difficult. The bikes I'm fixing, they're not difficult to fix. Once you know how to fix a bike, it's all the same. Mm-hmm. Some of the newer bikes, when I get one that has a shifting problem, but the new cables, index shifting, I put that in a separate pile and wait for the mechanic to come and help me fix it up. Right. They take a lot longer.
Yes.
So I kind of put those aside because I'd rather fix 5 bikes in an hour than one.
Yes.
10 bikes in an hour than one. Yeah. So I'll just put those aside, and sometimes they never get fixed. Mm-hmm. And I donate those bikes to Bikes Not Bombs. So they're not getting thrown away. I'm not taking them for parts. Somebody else is still getting usable.
Yes.
So
Bikes Not Bombs.
Bikes Not Bombs. Yeah. They put them in a container, and they ship them overseas to countries that don't have bikes, and they fix them over there.
Wow.
Yeah. So nothing goes to waste.
I am fascinated by everything I'm learning this morning.
Yeah. Nothing goes to waste.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about this whole thing is that I'm just one person with no money.
Right.
Just think if I ever hit the lottery,
right?
or had the money that the superstars have.
Yes.
What the changes that you can make in communities and people's lives is mind-boggling. You just have to do it.
Right.
Just stop and do it.
That's right.
Take the word no and can't out of your vocabulary. There's nothing you can't do.
Right.
Nothing.
That's true. Where did you get this attitude? Have you been like this since childhood?
No. Good question. My mother was very generous. My mother has always put other people ahead of herself.
Okay.
And so I have picked up a lot of that from her. Mm-hmm. But once you start to give, it's you're hoping it catches on like a wildfire.
Yes. Yeah, it makes you feel good. That's the
does.
reward.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? You just feel good because you're making a difference.
You know what's even better is that it's cool to know that you're helping somebody, making smiles, changing their lives.
Yeah.
I don't even know who you are. That's it. Even when I give to Hull, now I'm giving to the Hull Police.
Yeah.
I give the bikes to the Hull Police Department. I don't want the credit. Mm-hmm. My daughter's a police officer in Situate, and the police these days, they don't have the image like that we had when we were smaller.
Right.
So I gave them to the Hull Police so they build a rapport with the kids.
Good.
So I give them the bikes, then they give them to the kids.
Yes.
They advertise them on the Hull police Facebook page.
Okay.
Then they have to come to the station with their parents, and they get a little tour of the station. They say hello to the police officer who's given the bike.
Yes.
And now they're seeing that, okay, this police officer's given me a bike. The kid's this big.
Wow.
And he'll always remember that. So when he becomes this big,
That's right.
he'll remember who gave him his first bike.
How great is that for community relations?
Well, that was the whole idea, but with giving the bikes to McFarland.
Yes.
McFarland we started with nothing but small bikes, and the McFarland police jumped all over it, and they loved it. Like, they are the heroes in that town because they give away all the bikes.
Wow.
Even when I was there, when they found out who I was, they were still mum. They didn't tell anybody who I was.
Right.
And it was really cool to see, you know, a police officer pick up the bike that the kid just won and walk it over to him.
Wow.
Yeah, 80. I saw about 80 bikes that day get given away. And I sat there in the corner, just minding my own business.
Yeah. I just want to summarize. You really need some volunteer mechanics.
And that would be awesome.
Yes. Even for a few hours a day, 20 hours a week, whatever they could do, it would help you.
I would take an experienced mechanic once a week for 2 hours would be a thrill.
Yes.
Just to handle, for someone else to be, you know, pumping these bikes out.
Yes.
And then I could do more.
Yeah.
I could do more. I mean,
Good.
just the generosity is out there.
Yes, it is.
We've tapped it.
And there's a need. People need bikes.
There are places that I can't even believe they exist in the United States. The location I sent to in West Virginia, there was this one woman, they sent me a picture of her. She just moved into her trailer, which was built in the early 60s. Wow. I wouldn't put tools in it.
Oh, and that's her home.
That's her home. She just moved in, and it was absolutely disgusting. And I told them there, I said, don't let her move in. I said, let me see what I can do to help her. Her name was Millie.
Yeah.
And I put her on my Facebook page, and the things that were given.
Yeah.
But Millie,
Yeah.
it was incredible.
Changed her life.
Yeah, changed her.
Yeah.
We got her everything. I even shipped her a new toilet for that camper. We got her paint, carpets. We got a new microwave. We got a toaster oven, dishes, linen, everything. Pictures for the walls.
Wow.
Because that trailer was something that nobody should live in, and she has 3 kids.
Wow.
Shouldn't be.
No. No. Not in this country.
Oh, but she got 2 full pallets
Oh my.
of items just for Millie.
Wow.
And even the boxes said for Millie.
Oh my gosh.
Food,
Yeah.
cleaning supplies,
Yeah.
clothing. I found out the sizes of all her kids, and we sent them enough clothing for that year and the year afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
People were buying brand new clothing for Millie, for Millie's kids. And that was life changing.
Yes.
But 2 pallets were dedicated to Millie.
That gives them a lot of hope.
Yeah.
You're leaving your mark.
We.
You're making a difference. Yes, your team,
Yeah.
your volunteers, or the contributors, right?
Yeah.
You're all
It's
making
we.
your mark.
There's no I's in me. It's
Yeah.
just, it's all we. I couldn't do it without Brian McGagan in Mohawk. I couldn't do it without the donations I'm getting from people of Situate, from Hull, from Hingham.
Yes.
I've had people drive from the Cape
My
to deliver
gosh.
a single bike.
Oh,
I've had people from the North Shore. I had somebody from Acton drive down to give me a single bike.
wow.
Make a difference.
Yeah.
All you got to do is ask.
We live in a good world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah.
We just have to light the fire
That's right.
and hope it takes off like a wildfire.
And it has. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure talking
All right,
with
same
you.
here.
Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you.
Thanks again for watching this edition of Optimist Island with Richard Bonanno. And as you can tell after listening to Richard, he really needs some volunteer bicycle mechanics, experienced bicycle mechanics. The easiest way to reach him is on Facebook, of course, Richard Bonanno, Bonanno. And if you can contribute, that'd be wonderful. Just the other day, he worked 14 hours alone repairing bicycles. And a shout out to Mohawk Rubber, right here in Hingham, Massachusetts. And thank you for shipping all these bicycles, these 5,000 bicycles nationwide. We really appreciate it. And that's the type of good news that we like to share on this show. Thanks for watching, and thank you for all your volunteer work that you can do to help this mission. Thank you.